Hey all, Harry Love Transport here. Today I'm going to walk you through one of the most one of the most passionate parts I've found about the railways, which is the evolution of Thameslink. Now I'm talking about the section from London Bridge. Some goes to like Loughborough Junction and through to London's Pancras, but I'm talking about the railway called the London Chatham Dover Railway. This all started in 1864 when they wanted to start their railway into the City of London, and did so by building a station called Blackfriars Bridge Railway Station. The first Blackfriars Railway Bridge was then constructed across the river, and after a temporary station on the north side of the Thames, the line went then to Ludgate Hill railway station. Additional tracks were opened in 1866 along with the Metropolitan Railway to connect with the Great Northern Railway and at King's Cross, and the Midland Railway at St Pancras that ran through to Barbican and then round to Moorgate. The line was yet again extended to another new area, which was Holborn Viaduct, that opened on the 2nd of March 1874. Although on the line through to Farringdon there were low-level platforms which first came across as Snow Hill Station, that opened on the 1st of August 1874, but this was then renamed to Holborn Viaduct lower level in 1912. A second bridge was then built as the expansion of the railway, and at the same time another station called St Paul's, which opened on the 10th of January 1886, which now is renamed on the 1st of February 1887 as we know London Blackfriars as we know it today. Then at the same time, Blackfriars Bridge railway station closed on the 1st of October in 1885. Then on the 3rd of June 1963, the tunnel through to Farringdon were closed up with passenger services ceasing, and then that became the Holborn Viaduct became a terminus station. Ludgate Hill eventually closed on the 3rd of March 1929, with passengers using Holborn Viaduct instead. Then the Great Northern Link and tunnels, which were closed up and no longer used, with King's Cross Thameslink York Road, which closed also on the 5th of March in 1977. In 1983, a station called King's Cross Midland City was reopened after a temporary closure in 1979 as part of the Great Northern electrification project, but this was renamed to King's Cross Thameslink in 1988. In 1985, the first bridge was demolished as it wasn't strong enough to support modern trains. Works began on rebuilding the Snow Hill tunnels, which was completed in 1998, which led the Thameslink programme with trains running across London. As a result of this project, Holborn Viaduct eventually closed on the 20th of January 1990, which eventually came across as St Paul's Thameslink, which opened on the 29th of May 1990, which later renamed to City Thameslink as we know it today on the 30th of June, on the 30th of September 1991. During the work of the Thameslink programme, a viaduct which carried the line into Holborn Viduact from Ludgate Hill was demolished after a new line that was built dropped down steeply from Blackfriars railway station and then dug underneath for a new station to be built, which was City of Thameslink, originally named St Paul's Thameslink, sited beneath the former Holborn Viaduct station. Now, King's Cross Thameslink eventually closed on the 9th of December 2000 station and was replaced with what we have now as the St Pancras, the Thameslink platforms at St Pancras. Now, I find specifically King's Cross Thameslink a really good depth of history in terms of, well, the closure of the station, as in basically the trains along the line, now 12 cars, but back in the day, the Class 319s that all ran up until closure only had about 5 or 6 carriages long, and the frequency was increasing, and the amount of passengers and the number of services would increase. That the width of the platforms and just access to step-free was no longer going to be inconvenient, so they decided to move the station rather than upgrade the station. And then the last bit of the line meant that the line through to Moorgate closed on the 21st of March 2029 as the line that went through Farringdon, basically for the 12-car trains to be long enough. Basically, they were short enough back in the day, and there was a junction that was there that linked up the two lines, the one go to Moorgate and then the one goes south to City Thameslink and through to London Bridge. That eventually needed to be extended, so it meant that the new development would then cross off the link towards Barbican and Moorgate, which meant that the line could be no longer accessible. So that's a little insight into the evolution of Thameslink, although it didn't stop there. With London Bridge and Farringdon, they all had renovations to sustain modernisation. So, for example, at London Blackfriars Station, there used to be it got re-incited, and then they had 2 brand new blade platforms, which the old viaduct, the old bridge that was demolished, that is still technically in use to hold 2 bay platforms that now are used for the London Bridge to Sevenoaks service used by Thameslink, and also in the peak hours a small number of limited services used by South Eastern head to Beckenham Junction and Dartford. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.